It's March 24th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky, and it's time to get in the weeds. A marvelous Monday, cloudy, and it snowed yesterday. I don't know how to feel about that, but winter 2, Electric Boogaloo is upon us. It is every year. We shouldn't be surprised, and I'm not. It just, you don't expect it to happen when it does, but it's here, and it'll be gone by this afternoon. Speaking of which, Jeremy Lambert is here. He'll be gone by this afternoon. How you doing, Jeremy?
I'm well, it was a kind of a low-key weekend. Low-key, great wrestler. Yeah, likes to show up to events and kick people in the face. I always appreciate that. But otherwise, doing well. Have some plans later on today, Joel. I copped out early on Friday. Not really early, our alleged end time, and maybe copping out early today as well.
That's fine. You know what? For the amount of time that I think of it as the balance, right? We have episodes that have gone nearly 3 hours. We have 2.5 hour episodes. It's like an episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It could go 2 hours. It usually can go 2.5, but we're not beholden to any sort of end time. So we just kind of go until we're done. But some weeks you got to get out before the Westminster Dog Show starts. And that's what we're doing. Jeremy's going to the dog show. Right?
I mean, it might be a dog and pony show where we're going. I don't know.
It's fine. Listen,
I don't know what's going on. I just show up and I'm told where to go, and I'm like, all right, that's where I'll be, and then whatever happens.
It's kind of what it looks like. I mean, this weekend honestly wasn't such a busy weekend wrestling wise. We'll talk about SmackDown. We'll talk about Collision. Talk about the Bey Benefit Show that I know you and I both watched and had some very powerful moments and some very funny moments as well. Some unexpectedly as well, but there's plenty to talk about this morning, and we'll get into it soon enough. But first, you got to leave a thumbs up on the video. If you haven't already, go ahead, do it. We got some pyro as well that usually comes with that. It's going to go off right now, and when it does, and the thumbs up with it, you leave a thumbs up. Go ahead, do it. Come on. And while you're at it, you can subscribe to the channel. We're marching. I want us to be at 20,000 by WrestleMania. How about that? We're on our way. That's a huge number, but I want you all to get us to 20,000 subscribers by WrestleMania. So we got about a month to go to get us there. A little less than a month. And of course, you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. And it also guides the conversation because I know everyone likes to conversate around this show. So I want you to get your money in. Get your money on the table so I can gamble it all away in Las Vegas. I'm so not going to gamble.
Appreciate everyone who sent super chats on Friday. I sent that money over to FSW for the Bey Benefit Show. So I appreciate everybody who helped with that fund and donating to the Bey Benefit Show from Future Stars of Wrestling, which aired last night on Triller.
Yeah, fun show. I got a chance to watch most of it live, and then I slept off the last couple of matches so I can watch them fresh this morning. I needed that because we can talk about the show, or we can talk about how my kid's birthday party went. What do we want to do? Talk about my kid's birthday or talk about the Bey Benefit Show? We're gonna do both. It's just which one do you want to do first?
We got to talk about the kid's birthday. We got to pick up where we left off on Friday's conversation with the Kids Benefit Show. The Kids Benefit Show is what I said. Yes. The Kids Birthday Benefit Show.
It was a benefit for our sanity. Good shout. So we'll start with the cake.
Yeah. Did you get your cupcake?
I got the cupcake cake. Thank you.
I said it right. You said it wrong.
By the way, the kid's birthday is next weekend. We did it this weekend because it was when we could rent the room in our apartment.
Real quickly, Joel. Sorry to cut you off. So we got to talk about cucks here for a second, as we do.
Of course.
So we were looking for some trash to watch this past weekend, and we settled on Married at First Sight. We learned of this show. I don't remember the name of it. My wife will text me here in a second and remind me of the name. I remember the name of it. But the description of this show was a view from the cuck chair. And I was cackling when I saw this. It's where it's like 5 men, and they send their girlfriends in there to like try to win a date with another man. And if they do, they get like money. So the girlfriends, like, they know they're dating, and the guys like watch the girls flirt with this person and try to win them this money. So they're watching their girlfriends like flirt with another man to try to win a date and win money for them. So that's why the description is a view from the cuck chair. Absolutely killed me when I saw this. Like, yeah, we should watch this, especially after the week we have. Ryan is saying Married at First Sight is so trashy and good. I've seen the first few seasons, and then we watched 7 Year Switch, and we saw Pastor Calvin pop up, and I was like, he's from Married at First Sight. And then so I got the wife to watch Married at First Sight. I was like, yeah, it's pretty trashy. And so now we're watching like season like 17, and it's changed a lot since then. But it's good. Go ahead, Joel. Sorry to watch you make you sit there while I talked about not your kid's birthday, about your kid's birthday. Kind of cucked you a little bit.
Oh, you took it from me. Oh, I was gonna use that. Back to my own kid's birthday. Oh, that's no. Anyway, we are children at best. The birthday party. So Friday, for those who were watching, I got a call early in the show. It was from the place where you ordered the cake. They were confused again, as they were when I made the order. So I was like, this ain't gonna work. I called a different location that is equidistant from the one we were going to go to, and they were like, oh yeah, we can do it, no problem. And like, shout out to this woman who took the order, because English was not her first language, but she got everything. She was good. Everything was great. And then we went yesterday morning, myself and my sister-in-law, to go get the cake. And when we get there, the person behind the counter, it's not the same person who took my order. So he's looking for the cake. He comes out with one, he opens it up, and he's like, oh, the kid's not named Michael. I'm like, no, it's not. And so we put it away. And then he goes back into the fridge, and he takes a while, and he takes a little while longer. It's not too long. It's probably about 15 minutes in total this takes. He comes out and he looks through the order forms, and we had phoned it in instead of gone in person and done the order. And he says, okay, it's at this. He confirmed everything, but what threw him off was that the person who took the order had written Minecraft on it, as because we were doing a laser image over an edible image over the top of the cupcakes. And no, I had told the woman on the phone, it's Paw Patrol, specifically this one's called Mighty Pups. That's the offshoot that they do where they become like superheroes. Because anyway, not important. I hate Paw Patrol, but my kid does. Anyway, so he goes back into the freezer or the fridge, and he comes out, and he's got the proper box. He opens it up, and he's like, oh, just want to make sure the kid's name is spelled right. And my kid has a different name, so it's not like Jackson spelled with a Z or any shit like that. It's a pretty traditional Jewish name. So I opened up the box. I'm like, yeah, it's good. He spelled it right, and it's the cupcakes. And someone asked what kind of cupcakes. We did a split. They only do chocolate and vanilla, so we did 12 and 12. And then we took the box away, and it was good. It took a little longer, but we had our moment. Did the party, huge success. Gotta say, we hired an entertainer, like someone for like 90 minutes to basically be the Pied Piper. And she did a wonderful job. The kids loved her. She did like balloon animals and bubbles and a circle time and songs and dances and painted faces and hands and stuff. Loved it. Saying painted hands makes it sound like she was doing henna. She wasn't. That'll be later on in life if she so chooses. Anyway, my point was it was a really good party. The parents were raving, which was nice. They love the party room that we have in our building because it's very big. We were happy with it. It was a really fun time. The kid fell asleep, lickety split, went down for a nap right on time, and all the kids left at the right time. Nobody lingered because they were all exhausted from the party. So we killed it. Shout out to my wife. She did tons of hard work into this. I dealt with a lot of like the background stuff, getting some food stuff ordered and just doing runaround duty. My in-laws were super helpful, and her family as well. Just shout out to them. Everything worked out. It was a great birthday, and I was tired AF that afternoon. There was a lot of let's just hang around and read books all afternoon with the kid. So that was good. We got through it all. So happy about that.
Well, I'm glad it went well, Joel. Glad you survived the kid's birthday party. Nobody got sick yet? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's a 2-week incubation period to find out.
Yeah, fair. I'm glad
Honestly, my kid had a cold the week before, but that's the daycare cold. Every kid, like parents, if you have young kids or you've ever had young kids, the daycares don't care unless they run a fever. If they're actively fighting infection, you got to keep them home. If they're not, that's your discretion. I say keep them home, but also life gets in the way. Did I save you some cake? I've got 2 cupcakes left.
Oh, look at that. I'll come there sometime soon and get a
It'll go
cupcake.
bad by the time you get here, but you're welcome to. You know where I
Unless
live.
I come today. If I come today, it'll be good, right?
I mean, sure. You can just bring the whole family, load them up in the minivan, and let's go.
We're gonna split 2 cupcakes for the 14 of us. That'll be see how that goes over.
I mean, I think you should try it. See, everyone gets a little sliver, just a little sliver of cupcake. Give some of them a little bit. I see Shiny in the chat saying 2 months old little one. Dude, isn't it a trip? I think I saw you went back to the office today. I hope you're doing okay, because being away from the little ones can be tough at first, but then you realize you can be productive, you can love them more when you see them next. It's a good feeling when you come home to see them, as long as they're not actively screaming their shit out.
That's typically how it goes, right? They're always screaming in some way or another.
Mine's pretty even keeled. The dumbest thing this morning was like they'll do something, they'll think of something that makes them upset, and then they'll run away because they're like upset about something, trying to throw a tantrum. Mine does this, and then like he tried to throw him. He doesn't even throw himself on the floor. This was my favorite thing. You know how you see all those like funniest home videos of toddlers throwing tantrums, and the way you normally saw it was like they throw themselves on the floor and they kick and scream. My kid was never that kid, because he's smart enough to know you throw yourself on the floor, that shit hurts, because everyone's got hardwood flooring now. So instead he just goes down on his hands and knees and then flops on the floor and just kind of lies there until he feels better. And I'm like, good on you, kid. You're a lazy fusser. That's good stuff.
Shout out Shaddy, sorry. Hope you're doing well, and happy 2 months to the little one on Friday. Remind us on Friday to say that again.
Absolutely. Yeah, my dude's gonna be 3 on Sunday. Crazy. I'm kidding. What the heck were you requesting that befuddled the entire bakery? Asked the anonymous ITW general manager. So it wasn't a slab cake. I wanted a cupcake cake. And what befuddled them was that they didn't know that they could do cupcakes, but they can. And I knew this because my sister-in-law happened to.
Baby, watch the product. We explained all this on Friday. We need a video recap.
I can text you back. The point is, they just got confused, and then their laser printer wasn't working, so it was like, why bother? And a lot of concessions were made for the first place for us to turn around and go to a different place that did it right. And even that was just like, we did it. Except for that one kid. There's always that one kid at the party that you're just like, no, what are we doing here? And that kid was just like, why didn't you get a real cake? And I would be like, why? I was going to say something mean, but I just kept it to myself. Not up to me.
You should have not given him a cupcake. He said, here, you know what? You don't get a cupcake then. You're going to complain about a real cake? You don't get a cupcake. You sit right here in this chair, and you watch everybody else eat the cupcakes, kid. All right? That's what you should have done to him.
The response from the ITW anonymous general manager: he thinks I remember Friday. That's cute.
Yeah, that's true. Fair.
That's love. Remembering what you did yesterday.
Can't remember what we had for breakfast, much less what we did on Friday. So that's very fair.
But yeah, the point was, this kid says that while he's got a mouthful of cupcake, and you're just like, what are we doing here?
You should have taken that cupcake from that kid. Like, you know what? This is mine now. You don't get it.
This is my cupcake now. And you just shove the whole thing in your mouth.
Ryan's got it right. You should have taken over to the fridge door and be like, here, watch this, and then opened it. That would have been good.
That same kid went into the kitchen at one point and was just like, I need scissors. And so we're like, what the you need scissors for? Like, we had a craft table, but the craft table was packed up and put away at this point because we were doing lunch. And like, the kid wanted to open a juice box, but you know how you can do the hole in the thing, or you can like pull the tab up, cut it, and like have it like a
right.
But I was like, what are you doing? We're not doing this. And yeah, I would have opened the door.
Where was this kid's parents, Joel?
We'll have an offline conversation about that. They were there. They were there.
Okay. Clearly not paying attention to their child.
Yeah, no, clearly. My favorite part about this whole experience other than I'm never doing this again. And then another year comes around, and you're like, well, I guess we got to do this again. On Saturday morning, my wife took the kid and another mom and kid who they're all same age. They went to an event. They went to a science center, and I got the morning off to like clean up and get ready for the party, blah blah blah, like buy stuff we needed because it was Saturday morning, party was Sunday. All of a sudden my phone goes off and it's someone trying to buzz into our building, and so I'm like, I buzz them in, and then I messaged my wife and I'm like, hey, are you guys like back so soon and maybe you forgot your keys? And she's like, no, we're still here having a good time. It's like, okay, that's weird. And then the same person, whoever it was, tried to buzz in again, and I'm like, I'm not doing this twice. I didn't bother at that point, and I just kind of left it alone. Yesterday, the party starts. Someone arrives a little late. I'm saying hi, and they're like, so awkward moment yesterday. We thought the party was yesterday. And I'm like, did you try to buzz in around like 11 a.m.? Like, yeah, that was us. I was like, why didn't you just text one of us and ask where we are? She's like, I didn't want to be awkward. I'm like, okay, back in my head, I'm like, it's more awkward if you leave me hanging on this, but okay, let's just leave it at that. Anyway, people, we had invitations. You lost it. You could have texted someone. People
suck, as Paul London established when he joined the show a couple weeks ago.
Anyway, we got through it. Everyone's happy. Kiddo's happy. He's got all of his presents are currently in my office, and eventually he's gonna have to. We're slow trickling the open rate of the presents. There's some behind me in this cabinet, so there you go.
You should open them all on air. Just
I thought about it
for us to enjoy instead of the kid. It'd be much better. Get content out of this. Who cares about the kid, Joel?
It's the Jimmy Kimmel bit. I ate all your Halloween candy.
Who cares what the kid wants to do? You can still give them to him. You can still enjoy them, but we get to see him first. That's all.
It's true. I should do it. It's mostly books. Who am I kidding? Like my kid's an avid reader of books, loves books. But yeah, we're good. We're glad that we got through it, and I'm also glad. Honestly, I'm glad that there wasn't much wrestling on TV, so I didn't have to like worry about a pay-per-view or worry about like a big show. Shout out to him. Well, anything like that. But I'll tell you one thing. Shout out to our pal Ken Bruno. I don't know if Ken's in the chat, but Ken, he made the graphic. He made a video. I forgot.
Yeah, he made a video. Yeah, can we play the video?
No, because it's got the MVP theme underneath, and we'll get demonetized. It's set to the MVP theme. I'm coming because I made a whole thing about it last week when I ran down Busted Open and Circa Mania. That plug will come later. But the point is, he sent it out. I retweeted it, tagged LaGreca on it, and Dave is now aware.
Did he message you?
We have exchanged some private messages.
All right,
direct messages.
You're gonna have to tell me how this went, since you won't speak it on air.
Well, we gotta build to it. We gotta plan for it. We gotta make this a reality. I gotta go get a green bathrobe.
I need to, like, legitimately? Do I need to come to Vegas? Like, I don't want to leave you hanging here, Joel. Like, everybody from Busted Open is gonna be there.
That's true. Mark Henry will beat my ass.
Yeah, Bully. I assume Thunder's gonna be there.
She's fine. She's a sweetheart. Yeah. I tell Thunder like I'm with Sean, and she'll be like, "Oh, I love him," or Denise, like, "Oh, I love her. She's great." Da da da. No, we'll be okay. It's Mark Henry that I'm most afraid of. I'm not even afraid of Bully. I'm afraid of Mark. Mark's a big, strong, strapping dude.
I'm saying, like, do I need to be there, Joel? I don't want to leave you hanging here. I don't want you to think that I'm leaving you out to dry. I mean, a little bit. I think it'd be funny if you got your ass beat, but like, I don't want you to. I don't want to leave my tag team partner out to dry here. So do I need to be in Vegas? I could probably stay somewhere. I got friends in Vegas.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. I mean, I also hopefully will have a room that has like a pull-out couch or something if I'm really, up Schitt's Creek. Let's take a quick look. If you were to join me, how much would it cost? Would you stay for Mania or no? Because I mean, it's Easter weekend. I don't know if you have plans.
No, I don't. I mean, we probably do. My plans are I got to do a lot of work that week. That's my plan.
You'd be on the West Coast, so at least you'd be in an advantageous position covering the shows.
Yeah, true.
Let's say you don't. Just for S and Gs. Let's say you come Tuesday to Thursday. Let's take a look. Google flights real quick. Let's see if Jeremy's going to back me up. How much is it going to cost me? Do I go solo? Or does Jeremy help? Frontier.
It's much funnier if you go solo.
That's true. These are nonstop flights. Good for you.
Okay. All right. What airport are you flying out of?
Can I out you? Because
Oh, okay. Well, you can say Cleveland.
Yeah, it's
You can say
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Yeah,
Okay, Cleveland.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. People do know that you went to SummerSlam in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, if you go nonstop Frontier, it's 322 Canadian. So you're probably about 200-ish American.
Okay. There's another airport. I'll look at that.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about because we've also looked into that.
Hold on. Let me go to the Expedia here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Damn, it's cheaper.
Oh, from that airport?
Yeah, I didn't. That's an airline I've never heard of before, but apparently
that doesn't sound great. I don't like that. There's what days did you do?
Tuesday to Thursday, the 15th to the 17th. I fly in on the Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday to Thursday. All right. I need flights. I click stays. That's not helpful.
It's actually not sketchy, by the way, Chad. Like I'm looking up this airline. They're okay.
All right, what price do you have?
I have $298 American. Sorry, $298 Canadian. $298 Canadian. And these are 2 nonstop flights. Wow.
I have 214.
What happens if I go here? Hold on. I go to continue. This is through that airline's website. What happens with 99,109? Huh. Can't pick your seat, but I don't think it matters. You just need to bring a baseball bat and some clothes in a sack. You put the clothes in the sack and wrap it around a baseball bat, and there you go.
Yeah. All right. I'm probably not going, but good to know what the prices are.
I mean, I've learned about a new airline today. So I think we all win in some way. Oh man, that's great. It's not a Canadian airline that I found, but it's definitely one. Yeah. And like people are telling me flying to the US right now. Trust me, I'm well aware of how scared I am to be doing a little bit of flying right now in this climate. I'm also aware of all the travel warnings that have been issued by international countries going into the US. Trust me, I'm well aware. On one hand, though, my lineup go to customs, it's going to be super short.
Always good.
So at least I got that. We'll be okay. It's going to be, I have my feelings about how that's going to go. I'm excited to be doing the work, getting down there and having fun with it. But yeah, definitely do think about the external situations that are arising. But we'll be okay. So I'm going to beat up the Busted Open crew. That's really what it comes down to. Jeremy or no Jeremy, I will do it. I'm going to get the night before, I'm going to get a long 2x4. And I'm going to implant nails into it. Big ones, big, heavy ones. And I'm going to call it Snap. I won't call it Spike because that's a copyright infringement. And I'm going to bring it with me to Busted Open. And I'm going to use Snap on them because when I use it, it snaps your skin. I should probably think of a different name for it.
Well, I wish you luck with that, Joel.
Crackle?
So anyway, SP3 is going to be the permanent co-host of this show after WrestleMania week.
I thought it was going to be Mark Henry because he's so good.
It might be. I mean, we probably can't meet Mark's price, so that might be an issue there. No.
What price? All you got to do is say fuck Hulk Hogan, and he's going to be there all the time.
I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know if he likes Hogan or not.
I mean, there's a video of him doing a DJ set, and he plays Hogan's theme, and he stops it to say "fuck Hulk Hogan." So,
oh really? Oh, that rules.
Yeah, that's been going around. So there's a little bit of that.
All right, that actually rules. Good on Mark Henry.
Yeah, I'm like, now I like Mark Henry. I don't care.
Yeah, Mark can be co-host. That's fine.
That's the way. Yeah, someone from ITW get their wig split if Mark's around.
Yeah, great.
Mark's gonna win the Fightful Championship for me. Without even knowing it. He's like,
yeah,
what's this shit belt? Like,
he's still not gonna have the title, so it still sucks.
Jimmy, give me my title. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jimmy might have to meet those demands. He's like, whatever.
Can't even get on that. Oh man. Train with Santino Marella for this fight. That's the last thing I want to do. Chat, that's the last thing I want to do. Oh, I should call the 2x4 cock. because it'll be sitting in my chair the whole time. Why don't you take a seat over there? My God. Anyway, looking forward to that. We're 25 minutes in. What are we doing?
Nothing as usual.
That sounds about right. Can objects be cocks? No, but they can be cocks. You'll never see the light of day with that one. Now we can talk about the Chris Bey show, I guess, because we did mention that we were starting there. Zeno Hour was mentioning Observer's supposed to be there. Yeah, they're doing their convention. They're doing it at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. I have, you know what? I think I can show this because it doesn't really, because I made it, first of all. It's on Google Sheets. You haven't seen this yet, Jeremy. If you want to cry a little bit,
Cry.
Yeah. Let's see. We're going to look at my screen and we're looking at this. Here we go. These are the shows occurring WrestleMania week: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I didn't include Tuesday because who cares? And it all starts like Wednesday evening. These are all the shows that are happening. These are just the shows, by the way. And that's the locations of all the events. You can find all this, but I made a color-coded thing because I'm crazy. Yeah, so these are the shows and times, and then these are the events that include like WWE World tryouts that are happening for wrestlers. Then there's a Wrestling Observer convention. They start at Palms, but then they're doing everything else at Cosmo, like their watch party and all that. It's all public. I'm not like speaking out of school, but like there's a shit ton of stuff.
I'm not gonna cry because I already know that all this stuff goes on WrestleMania week. There's always a ton of events and just a ton of stuff. I was telling the wife yesterday of it gets bigger every year, and this feels like it's the biggest year because now WWE is so heavily involved in the indies. Like, look at the Bloodsport lineup. They just announced Carmen Petrovic last night. There's her, there's Pete Dunne, there's Cross, there's Natalia. There's 4 WWE people right there on the card. You don't know which WWE people might show up to some of these independent events. You know, Future Stars of Wrestling is running some ID tournament matches. Why wouldn't Cross show up to that show and just make an appearance? Why wouldn't WWE Talent to show up to GCW? Because GCW is also doing some ID stuff and clearly has ties with WWE right now. Like very known ties of the WWE ID stuff. Beyond that, not sure. But I imagine we're going to see a lot of WWE people just show up on these shows. No, every year, I don't want to say like I train for this because that seems weird of like I just cover wrestling news. It's not like I'm, doing workouts and like I got to prep for a big fight and make sure my body is right for this. But like I legitimately do just like mentally prepare for WrestleMania week every single year. And like I just know. So WrestleMania week is actually it's busy, but I don't mind the busyness because I know how busy it's going to be. There was a week a few years ago. It was the week that Vince did the interview with McAfee, and a bunch of other stuff happened that week as well. That might have been the Cody news week and the Austin news week. Like that was a super busy week, but it was like an unprepared super busy week. Like I knew the Vince interview, but that was announced on like 2 days notice. And then there was all the other stuff that went along attached with it. But that was like a week that, again, there was no real preparation. It's just like, oh, there's a lot of heavy news like right here this week. WrestleMania week, I know what I'm getting myself into. I know it's going to be busy. I'm ready for the busyness. And honestly, it's better this year because in the past couple of years, WrestleMania week has always fallen when the kids have spring break. So like we're trying to like plan activities and I'm like, well, we got to do it early in the week because by Wednesday, I got no time by Wednesday. So the fact that it's like a month from now, kids' spring break is already passed. So I'm like, oh, it's much easier now because they're gone during the day. They still got school and stuff. So I got the entire day and to not have to worry about that. And then night, they actually got to go to bed at a decent hour. So I can just stay up as late as I need to stay up to. So I know it's gonna be busy. I'm prepared for it. This is what the fuck I do, Joel.
Fair. This is also not everything is televised. That's the other side of it too. Some of it'll be on
Most
YouTube
of
channels.
it is, though.
A lot of it is. Like I'm seeing, Unbreakables on TNA Plus. The stuff that's at Meet is, I think, like Deadlock and West Coast Pro. Like they're going to be recording their stuff. Everything at Palms is obviously going to be recorded. There's a lot of stuff that's going to get out there and going to be put out there. We'll see if it's live or if they just tape it and then air it later. Because like some stuff will be on IWTV after the fact. IWTV might do some live shows as well, which is, I think, pretty rare for them. But yeah.
It's not even that like it's going to air live. It's that there's obviously just going to still be people at these shows. And so, yeah. And so like there's still going to be like media online from these shows. And a lot of people still get like results and stuff. So it's still like I got to do results and everything. And I'm prepared for it. Like,
of course,
I'm fully prepared for it. I look forward to it. Mania week. I don't want to say it's fun because it's a job. And even though I do have fun at my job, like it's still just busy and hectic. But like Mania week is where I just prove myself, I guess. And I'm like, yeah, this is all the stuff that I'm going to do. And good luck to anybody who can keep up with this pace.
Well, it's going to be a sprint, but it'll be fun. Yeah, I went through and I was going through all the events happening between wrestling shows and then events and podcasts and all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna be working out some schedules. That's for sure. I know Cam and I have talked about a few spots to go to on and off the air, and I've been talking to WrestleCon people about trying to get to that. And of course, I'll be at Circa Mania. I'll be fighting David LaGreca and saying hi to Chris Van Vliet, and hopefully WWE gets their stuff together and starts sending out all the confirmations for media too. That's going to be happening hopefully this week. So once that's done, it's hit the ground running. I'm going to go to the Wrestling Observer Convention and I'm going to say, hey, Dave, how you doing? And that's it. I'm just going to walk out, and then I'm sure Dave's going to give me a 5-minute answer, but at least I'll get a good conversation with Dave, with the other Dave, not LaGreca. It'll be fun. All right. We're doing that because last night FSW had their Benefit for Bey show. That was in Las Vegas as well. Looked like a really, really fun house. Looked like a really energetic crowd. Everyone was there for Chris Bey. Got to watch the show like I was telling you, and caught the last couple of matches today when I woke up. Fun show overall. Chris Bey appearing at the very end, of course, has been making the rounds. He was on 2 feet, walking his way down to the ring with his girlfriend, Brittany Brooks, and gets in the ring again by himself. He's up, he's walking. Clearly, he's got a long way to go, but the fact that he's up and doing it is fantastic. Got a tear in my eye. Said a couple of words, basically just gave his thanks, and he'll gather his thoughts and have more to say later. But this was definitely his weekend and a fun show overall. Cross beat Hammerstone in the main event. I don't think that was much of a shock to most people. Scarlett was there, which was a nice added touch to the presentation. And it was overall a good, solid show. Your thoughts? Because there were things that also kind of changed and got moved around as well.
So Scarlett was one of the other names that when Joe DeFalco joined us, he mentioned waiting on 2 WWE names. Scarlett was the other one. I don't want to say the other one. Again, it was not who you put in the chat on Friday, Joel. But don't know what happened there. Unfortunate that they couldn't get it worked out, but it is what it is. Overall, it was a show that did what it needed to do, and that was have wrestlers go out there and take everybody's mind off things for a few hours, and then bring out Chris Bey, who looked, considering what he went through in October, looked pretty good for that. Walked to the ring, got in the ring, said a couple of words, and got a big cheer off of that. And like the matches were fine. The matches at the end of the day are not gonna remember. We're not gonna remember the matches. Like they were there to just take everybody's mind off things for a few hours and to to just have a good time for the crowd. So it was a fun show, and I went into it with not low expectations, but just the expectation of, and let's just shut down for a few hours and just watch some wrestling matches. That's what it was. So I hope everybody was able to enjoy it from that aspect and didn't put too much thought into why is this happening? Why didn't this happen? Who cares? Who cares why this and that didn't happen? Just to enjoy the matches for what they are. Enjoy the event for what it is. Celebrate that all of these companies, all of these wrestlers came together to support Chris Bey.
Yeah, watch it passively, watch it actively, but it was fine. It was a good show. AJ Francis kicking off in the Battle Royal, talking about the it's cutting a heel promo, but also just giving his time and his likeness to the event. Good time. Loses the Battle Royal, which was hilarious, but otherwise, just good stuff. RVD came out, cut a little promo, said he's going to sit down at ringside, and that was so that he could watch his partner Katie Forbes have a match against Gypsy Mac. And on top of that, you had Rich Swann against Ricochet. Ricochet wasn't supposed to wrestle initially; it was supposed to be an appearance, and then they ended up having Ricochet wrestle, partly because Swerve was unable; he was not cleared to wrestle, and Brian Cage unfortunately couldn't perform as well at bell time. So Swerve came out, cut a really, really good promo. When they did the Who's House, he said, no, tonight it's Bey's house, which I love that. And then calls out Kenny King. Kenny King comes out and they talk about the respect they have for each other. They still want to face each other. Swerve, wants to eventually get in the ring with Bey when Bey's good and ready, if he is. It was just, again, nice feel-good moments. And while it sucked that Swerve couldn't do the match with Kenny ended up doing a big but a four-way match. So that all worked out pretty good. And Rhino showed up fresh off of his appearance on another company the night before. So good to see Rhino goring people in 2025.
Look, Rhino's still getting some paper. Good on him, showing up to NWA, getting a title match. Former NWA champion, held that title for 2 days. Joel, 2 days.
Could happen again. Who knows? He's a free agent, that Rhino. That rhinoceros has all the time and power in the world. He could win it back again. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? Yeah, this stuff was good. Ace Austin beating Leo Rush and Johnny TV. Those two guys were in the show. And yeah, like we said, Cross Hammerstone main event, and then Bey comes out. That's the moment. Bey coming out and addressing people, saying thank you, and the love from the fans and from his peers as well. I saw, this is not a knock at Cross at all. I noticed he when he went over to Bey afterwards, he was definitely emotional. Cross was crying a little bit. To me, it was powerful stuff. I mean, these guys were all connected. Joe told us in the interview on Wednesday that it was Cross, Hammerstone, and Chris Bey for 5 years. These guys were the pillars of FSW, and for them to be at different points in their life for very different reasons and all be together in the ring again at this event is that's a powerful thing to think about. And I'm sure it weighed on Cross a little bit to be able to be there and put up for his pal Chris. I thought that was really beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Rey Mysterio sent in a video message as well, as Joe told us. Rey was hoping to wrestle on the show, but he's overseas right now. But it was good that he got to send in a message and everything. So yeah, that was it was a good show. Everybody who was able to watch it, I hope you had a good time with it. And if you haven't, check out the replay on Trailer Plus.
By the way, the mask that Rey was wearing in that video was auctioned off at the event as well. So while they were doing the show, they had mentioned that they were at about $900 for the mask that Rey was wearing for to give away, to auction off for Chris. I don't know what the final bid was, but regardless, there was a whole slew of stuff that was auctioned off and sold and everything, all in benefit of Chris. So great stuff. I'm going to cough. 1 sec.
It's good that they
you too, eh?
Yeah. It's good. Our coughing cycles are in sync, Joel. It's good that they were able to again continue to raise funds for Chris Bey. So I know the GoFundMe is still up, and FSW raised funds to their own means as well. So good stuff.
Yeah, go watch. It's on Trailer Plus if you want to catch the replay of that. Got to watch it live and had a good time with it. Shall we talk about SmackDown in Bologna?
Sure.
What a big vat of bologna that was, huh?
Let's talk about the biggest news ever.
Which one? Do you want the Phoenix news? Do you want the Balor news? Do you want Randy Orton and KO as official?
Read the Phoenix report. So I have since I'm going to be away today, it's a very easy short for me.
All right, give me a second.
Okay.
Ray Phoenix has officially signed with WWE. That's not me reading the post yet. I got to get there first. Yeah. The Phoenix stuff is important, and we need it. Where are we? What? How long ago was this? There we go. Excuse me for a moment. Ray Phoenix is officially signed. Fightful Select Espanol has confirmed. It was pretty much a foregone conclusion after vignettes aired on last week's SmackDown hinting at him, but Fightful Select has confirmed that Phoenix has officially signed with the company. The plan as of right now is to debut him on the SmackDown brand, though we haven't heard when. Phoenix was getting his medicals done in recent weeks. He procured his release from AEW recently, and we're told that he isn't expected to speak heavily on the falling out there, same as Penta. The two were in contact with WWE last year, leading to their relationships with AEW souring. Go check out Fightful Select Espanol if you are a Spanish speaker, and you can check out Fightful Select Espanol Select.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you for making my job a little bit easier, Joel.
You're welcome. If nothing else, a voice actor I am. So Phoenix is on his way to WWE. It has happened. Those are the vignettes. It's not Chad Gable. God, I wish it was. But instead, we're looking at Phoenix debuting. What do you think of the possibility that they'll keep Phoenix and Penta apart at least to start things out for the Lucha Bros?
I don't think it's going to last long when they do that, but I'm not opposed to it actually, because the tag division just kind of isn't good. Like the War Raiders are barely on television on Raw. And then on SmackDown, the Street Profits are allegedly heels, but they faced heels on Friday, and their next title defense are heels as well. And then the other top team, DIY, are heels. Like the only baby faces they have are Motor City. So the tag team division isn't all that great. And I don't have a whole lot of faith that the tag team division is going to be better just because they add Penta and Phoenix to it. So I'm not mad if they are separated for the time being, because they might be better off being solo stars instead of being a tag team and maybe not getting as much because there isn't a whole lot of effort put into the tag team division right now. That Street Profits segment, I can't believe they changed the theme.
We want the smoke. Boom, boom, boom. That was awful. Awful.
They are killing these people with these themes. Everyone knows the Street Profits theme. We bring the swag like nobody can. We don't mean to brag. What about it? Yeah. It's one of the best themes they had. It ruled. It ruled how hype they were. And then they just completely killed it. Absolutely killed it. Just, so annoying. So annoying.
Yeah, when I heard it, I was like, okay, so they're heels now, right? They're coming out in all black. They're doing the royalty thing. They got tag titles. They got the new music, and it's not as powerful. It's not as baby faced. There's no red solo cups. That's been gone for a few weeks, but like, there's no decadence. There's no opulence. There's no Street Profits. They're just two dudes who are angry. They want the smoke, whatever that means for them. They come out and they then cut a pretty babyface promo while the crowd is very into them, and they say, "You deserve it," and they're like, "Damn right, we deserve it." And then there's like a split second where you wonder, are they about to is Ford about to turn on Dawkins because he mentions, you've been at my side through thick and thin. I love you, brother. And that's usually a heel trope for someone to turn on their partner. But no, of course not, because they just won the tag titles, and it would have made no sense to do this going into WrestleMania, especially. The promo just happened, and then Legado del Fantasma comes out, and you're like, these are also bad guys. These are also heels. What is this? And they do the match, and then it's DIY, and then it's Pretty Deadly. And you're like, these are also bad guys. So Pretty Deadly either has to turn, which I wouldn't do that. I like them as smarmy jackasses, or like DIY can be lovable baby faces, but they're better the way they're presented now, in my opinion.
They just turned.
They did just turn them. So it's another thing where you're just like, what are you doing? I'm looking for something, but they haven't given me much reason to believe in anything when it comes to that SmackDown tag division. There's and even if you say, oh, they'll call someone up from NXT and that'll no, it won't, because like that division's also ass in NXT. Fraxium is taking on mostly TNA people or just like makeshift tag teams and beating them. So what are we doing? Unless you call up Fraxium and they are a babyface tag team to go up against the Street Profits, like that's the only way out from NXT that I can think of that possibly works. It's very strange.
I don't love the tag team division on either brand right now. I'm sure there's still a bunch of multi-man matches going into WrestleMania. Fine. I don't want to say they should consolidate the titles again, but
I think they should. I said it last week. We're at that point again.
Not a whole lot's happened since they split those titles. I mean, Waller in theory had them. No one remembers that run at all. Miz and R-Truth had them, and they split.
Months too long after they won them.
Yeah, just... We know the brand split doesn't matter. CM Punk's just showing up on SmackDown, and he's going to be on Raw tonight. Seth Rollins, allegedly a Raw guy, was just on SmackDown. Like, it doesn't matter. So just have one set of tag team champions and have them defend the titles on both shows, because right now the tag divisions just aren't very good.
It's amazing that they have a 3-hour show, and while they have a lot of the talent, it
feels every bit of 3 hours too.
Yeah, it feels every bit of it. That's like the most frustrating thing. But they put themselves in this weird situation with the tag division where it's like they started to jokingly explain it through the big board of craziness, right? The one that Nick Aldis comes up and he's doing the lines and the lines and the lines and the lines. And like it was really everyone just kind of poking fun at the fact that nothing makes sense in that division. And like for me, I think the chaos is hilarious, but you need at least some sort of people to cheer for, people to boo, and like hardline it too. You need at least one white meat babyface tag team and one like very, very evil heel team. Because otherwise, like you can't shades of gray the entire tag division. That looks stupid. And like Motor City Machine Guns are probably your only white meat babyface team. And then I don't know. It's just having the Street Profits as a shades of gray team doesn't work for them. They got to figure out where they are aligned on the depth chart and run with that. Shades of Gray works for CM Punk stories. That's about it. We've kind of established that.
Yeah. Tag division. Don't love it.
They'll figure something out that'll make absolutely no sense. Pile driver finisher saying acknowledging the plot hole isn't the solution to the plot hole. And that's exactly it. It was funny when they did it, but they didn't then like acknowledge that it needs to be fixed or patched up. They just kind of said, big hole, big lines, funny, right? And then they just kind of went with it. The SmackDown tag belts, they look better. I will agree with Ross Walker. They're better looking belts because they're also nostalgic in a way, because they look like the old SmackDown tag team titles. So I think for a lot of people, they immediately go back to those. But the Raw ones look like, I don't know, pennies. No, those are the old ones. They look like like loonies, like dollar.
I don't know what the Raw ones look like because they're never on television.
Well, you got a problem with the current tag team champions, the Viking Raiders.
War Raiders.
Whatever.
They missed the boat on putting those titles on New Day. That should have happened right after the Big E segment. If not right after, then 2 seconds after. Like, I can't believe how they've dropped the heat that New Day had after that to just almost do nothing in the 3 months since that segment happened. Like, what have they done? They feuded with Ray for like 3 months, and that's all just been a backdrop for the Gable stuff. Like, them not winning those titles immediately after that was a travesty.
Yeah, I remember the turn and being like, congratulations to the New Day beating the War Raiders for the tag titles. And I was doing that prematurely, like a month in advance. I said it would happen at like Saturday night's main event going into the Royal Rumble. It didn't happen. That was a travesty.
Hopefully it still happens at Mania, and they'll get the good reaction at Mania, good reaction in the sense of like they'll be booed and people will hate it. But they got to get these belts on New Day. That's the only team with like some heat on them, like heat, good or bad. Like it's the only team with like shine on them right now.
Yeah. I see SB3 mentioning, Triple H booking for moments and following stuff up as a struggle for him. And they're definitely like, it's a very good point, and I agree with it to that degree. Unfortunately, the moments tend to still work for a lot of the fans. People like us, we absolutely see it and we're just like, not really. But yeah, there seem to be a lot of fans who, much like we were talking about the Chris Bey show, just kind of turn your brain off and watch the show. There are enough people who are just okay with getting to the moments. And it works for them, and it doesn't work for us. But I see exactly the point on both ends. It is what it is. Me Norma saying F4W has an all-you-can-eat steak party during Mania week. That's true, they do. Y'all can match that. I'm a drop select. If you can't match that, he's gonna drop select. Throw them keys in the bowl. Let's crank. I don't know if I can match an all-you-can-eat meat party. That seems very.
Yeah. You're not gonna top that from Meat Enormous.
No, I don't think I can. Best I can do is find an all-you-can-eat sushi joint and be like, come and eat with me at like 10 o'clock at night while I'm very sad and alone. I've been looking up for an all-you-can-eat sushi joint because I did that when I went to Hard to Kill. I was like, I want a good meal. You
should do like the Virgil post of, observers posting like, oh, it's packed for the meat buffet, and you're just sitting alone at a McDonald's. Like, no one came to my McDonald's meet and greet.
I got everyone the Travis Scott specials. Nobody wanted to eat my Travis Scott meals. John Cena, meanwhile, bought out that McDonald's for his $25,000 lunch. Get out of here. Oh, man. Well, people are asking about like meetups at WrestleMania week. I don't know if there's going to be a meetup because there's going to be enough going on, but if we can find an afternoon to all like come across each other somewhere, that would be pretty neat. Just to like say, hey, I'll be at, I'll just use WWE World because it's massive as an example. I'll be at the entrance of WWE World at like noon on this day. Come and hang out if you want. So could do something like that. At WrestleMania itself, I can tell you right now, there will be no way because they're going to make media get to the venue at like noon, which is absurd because the show starts at 4. But here we are. That'll be a busy day for media. But going up to the shows, probably Thursday, Friday, I'm sure there's something that can be done to do a quick little meetup or a hey, how you doing? Welcome to the city. Hope you have fun. Be good. Maybe we'll try and do something small, like a very unofficial meetup. Get nice.
Put that together.
We'll see. I might put something out there as we get closer to the dates. And I mentioned, as I didn't mention, someone in the chat had mentioned the booking going into Mania is not very strong this year. And like, I think one thing that's really strange is we're a month away. Like, we're still 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
There are still a bunch of matches that need to be made. The top matches have been announced. Now it's like filling out the undercard, and it's taking a last minute approach in some cases to get to those matches. It's weird because Mania is normally like next week on the calendar, and instead we're looking at a Mania that is still 3 weeks away. So I don't know if it's in our brains we're expecting that things would be announced already to get ready for what is next week's WrestleMania in our head, or like I want to go back and just figure out like how late were matches announced, because matches were announced all the way up until like the night before, I'm pretty sure, like on Friday night, or at least like the week of the show. I'm wondering like what the pace was last year for announcing matches.
They've got the big matches announced. They got all the title matches, and they've got now the triple threat match. I feel like over the next few weeks, we'll start to just get all the multi-man stuff. Like they're doing Penta and Braun tonight, Braun Breaker, for the Intercontinental title. They're doing Strowman and LA Knight this Friday on SmackDown. Feels like both of those that you're going to come out. Honestly, at this point, it feels like both of them you're going to come out with some multi-man matches. We're going to get Logan Paul and AJ Styles announced maybe as soon as tonight, because Logan said he's going to call out AJ. So that could be announced I guess technically today on
I
Raw.
hope AJ comes out, by the way. I hope AJ comes out first just to flip flop on what happened last time at MSG when it was supposed to be AJ calling out Logan. They should do it the other way around.
Yeah.
Logan's calling out AJ. AJ comes out first.
So I imagine you're going to get some more match announcements this week and leading into. I don't remember last year like what the pace of everything was. I feel like this is how it typically goes: is they announce the big matches and then they start to just fill out the undercard as we get closer to the event, the weeks into the event, and then the week of they'll still announce certain matches.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting too. But someone in the chat saying watch Triple H book like TK and have a bunch of matches announced in the last 2 weeks before Mania. That's normal. That has been the case. Not just Triple H, but like Vince was doing the same shit too. The cards were never fully finalized 2 weeks out of the show. There were always a few last minute matches added because it still builds some intrigue going into the shows. You got to do it somehow. But if you're announcing the bulk of them, that's a different story. And SP3 is talking about doing the Mania build's not clicking, and in some ways, yeah, there's some missing pieces that maybe aren't there yet. I go back to the whole WrestleMania 35 when they brought Charlotte Flair into the match and it became a triple threat, and everyone was like, I hate it, this is awful. And it was an awful inclusion, just to be like, we need Charlotte Flair, and that was the inclusion for Charlotte, and it was so stupid. And then they did the police, the arrest angle and the big brawl backstage where it was just beat 'em up central, and everyone was like, that was hot angle, I love it, oh my god, I'm so excited for the match. We've had a lot of pull apart brawls.
We've had a lot of pull apart brawls. You're kidding me?
But we haven't had that seminal moment for one of those matches where the brawl really sets up the importance of the match. That should have been the story for this triple threat with Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. That should have been the week after week of pull apart brawls. I would have been fine with that. And then a couple of weeks of really verbally going after each other, do the inside baseball shit. That's fine. Instead, they've done it with Tiffany and Charlotte. They've done it with Jay and Gunther. Because they've gotten way too into the pull aparts, it's taken away from one match being we hate them so much. You need that mind games build up, not the pay-per-view, but the storytelling mind games build up. You need different stories to set it up, not the same tropes telling different people in a match. That's kind of where I think the disconnect has been for a lot of these stories as well.
This brawl on SmackDown was so funny. I was very excited for this segment. I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get to really good promos here, and then we got no real promo out of this.
You had one moment where Punk was just like, thank you for serving Roman on a silver platter, and that was it. And then the look, and that was it.
Yeah. And then they brawl, and then as they all stand tall, they're like, you see that sign? You see that? They hate this person so bad. CM Punk hates Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns so bad. Roman Reigns hates Seth Rollins and CM Punk so bad. Seth Rollins hates CM Punk and Roman Reigns so bad that after knocking them down, they stand there and they go. The hatred just flows through them that they have to point to the sign.
So this is my favorite time of year, by the way.
Cackled as they are doing this. Like, what? Keep beating their ass. What are you doing? You've knocked them down. Keep beating them up. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me get a WrestleMania sign behind me right fast. That way I can point to it.
My favorite time of the year is on Twitter. There is a WrestleMania sign parody account. It's called WMania_sign. And it's literally them just reposting every time someone points to them and hashtag it's not polite to point, hashtag mind your manners. It's just people retweets of people with their stupid pointing at the sign photos and everything. So go follow that one because it's the best.
All right, I gotta figure out how to change this thing. Oh, there's that again. All right. Okay. I don't know. I don't want to do that. Jesus. Stop. Go away. Riveting on air.
Yeah, come on, point to the sign that you don't.
I didn't know how to set it up. Okay, there we go. All right.
Whoa. There you go. Point to the sign. You people.
Somebody screenshot that for me, please. Joel Pearl, I hate you so much.
We're David LaGreca. I'm coming for you.
So dumb. It's so dumb.
It is.
Why do you have to point to the sign?
It's a visual indicator, Jeremy. That's what television, prestige television dictates, that you must leave no questions asked. You must leave no stone unturned. You must be as forward as you can with your intentions. And if your intentions are to fight that man you hate at the show, whose sign and visage is up there in the rafters, to prove that point, you point to the damn sign, Jeremy. You tell them how much you hate them by pointing to the sign, and you tell them this is where we're going to fight. It's not going to be outside after the show where people can watch us. It's not going to be in a steel cage in Brussels for a home crowd that no one's going to pay attention to. No. We do it at WrestleMania. We do it at a Allegiant Stadium where 60, 70,000 people will be there, and there will be a big open glass roof on top that keeps the air. I don't know. It's not an open stadium. Anyway, we will do it there, and everyone will like it. Allegedly.
Just yell at them. Like, I'll see you at WrestleMania.
Well, they do that too. They do both.
I know. Like, that's fine. They did another pull apart brawl because you have to do that. This one was extra weak because I just saw this with Punk and Rollins, which was fantastic. And then 2 weeks later, you're doing the same thing that's not as good. Forget the Charlotte Tiffany one. Like, you only got to go back a couple of weeks and just do 2 of the 3 people who were involved in this one did a much better pull apart brawl on Raw. And then, yeah, when you throw in the Charlotte Tiffany brawl, when you throw in the Gunther and Jay are always brawling, although they've dropped that for a couple of weeks because Jay's got a feud with A-Town Down Under and Gunther's got a feud with Alpha Academy for some reason. Just stop with these brawls. Stop with it. They got to institute like a no touching policy. Pierce and Aldis need to come together and be like, I'm fucking sick of these brawls on my show. If you guys fight, that's it. You're off WrestleMania. If you throw punches, you throw hands before WrestleMania, you're off the card. You'll lose your WrestleMania spot. If you can't keep your hands to they're children. I tell the kids every day, keep your hands to yourself. You keep fighting, no more WrestleMania spot for you.
Santino cannot come in and be the guy who does this because he's both the worst and best person to do this. Because right now, I mentioned this in TNA, everyone's banned from ringside. Every match it says someone's banned from ringside. And then like before that, everything was you can't touch until the match or you're fired. Like that became a whole thing. So like every pay-per-view or PLE cycle, that's what TNA does. They pick one little thing that they can beat to death, and that's what they use for it. So right now it's banned from ringside. So now Adam Pearce needs to come out and say, if you two touch, you're banned from wrestling. Sorry, had a Santino moment. The match is off.
What is Adam Pearce's accent there?
It was a Santino accent that I went into accidentally. Adam Santino Pearce. Santino Adam Pearce. Anyway, I don't like the idea of having to do a ban from ringside. I don't like when every match build is building the same way. It does take away from the rest of the pay-per-view card build. It just doesn't work. So as a result, I understand why people are feeling that this is an underwhelming build to WrestleMania when a lot of them are pull apart brawls, talking segments that either go nowhere or just trample over each other. We'll get to that in a minute. I would honestly wager that the start of the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton build has been the strongest, but it's also like the latest, and we don't know what's going to happen the next 3 weeks because they're just on the infancy of announcing their match and getting to the meat and potatoes of it. I'm hoping Randy and Kevin are smart enough when it comes to the input of how this plays out that they're going to be like, no, everyone else is doing pull apart brawls. Why the hell would we? That they just let this be a storytelling event where like they tease some punting, they tease some moments, they tease a package pile driver, they tease, but no pull apart brawls, just shenanigans and talk. Let it ride. Just let it be that.
Problem with this feud is they didn't point to the sign.
I mean, they did the shot where Randy's standing there and the camera pans and it's WrestleMania sign that he's standing behind.
But
like,
he didn't point. I didn't understand it.
You're right. It was implied, but it was visually implied, not visually told to you. You're right. So I guess we have to get Randy tonight to come out. No, Randy's not coming out on Monday. We need one of them to come out this week and just be like, I'm pointing now. It's my sign. That's it.
Yeah, I didn't understand why this match was taking place. I was like, oh, Randy hears the voices, and the voices are telling him this to kick Kevin Owens' head off at WrestleMania, but he didn't point. So how do I know that that's his end goal, is to kick Kevin Owens' head off at WrestleMania? He said, Kevin, this is what he should have said. He should have said, Kevin, the voices in my head are telling me to kick your head clean off at WrestleMania. He should have pointed. He just stood there. What are you doing, Randy? Do you think he got yelled at like backstage when he came back? He's like, Randy, why the fuck didn't you point to the sign? The sign's right there.
I think this regime would have been like, all right, so you didn't point to the sign, but we'll get it in post. We'll do it next week.
AI Randy Orton pointing to the sign. Did anybody watch the USA feed? Is that what happened?
No, I did not. I am not in the US, but that's probably what they did. They had him. For some reason, there was an arm coming out of his back, and it was pointing to the sign, and he wasn't pointing anywhere near it. Someone saying, pile driver saying, if he wasn't pointing to the sign, where was he headed to? He wasn't looking at the sign.
I hope Randy overcompensates. Actually, like Kevin would be great at this because Kevin doesn't take anything serious and like likes to sarcastically poke fun at things. I hope Kevin's promo on SmackDown is like every time he mentions Randy in WrestleMania, he just points. He's like, Randy, you want to kick my head off at WrestleMania? I don't want to do this at WrestleMania. Randy, I don't want to do this against you at WrestleMania. I wanted to spare you. I wanted to team with you at WrestleMania. We could have gone after the tag team titles in Las Vegas at WrestleMania 41. He just keeps pointing at it. His whole promo.
I would really like to see him in earlier today, we got this footage from Kevin Owens, and it's him doing the phone footage, but he's commandeered a scissor lift and he's driving through the arena up until he gets to the sign. He goes all the way up to the sign and he points to it. And he's like, Randy, this is where we're going to fight. This is where we need to be. This is where our story will finish. And this is where I'm going to kick your head clean off. And it just becomes that whole thing. He's not just pointing at the sign. He's like grabbing the sign. He's shaking the sign. Everyone's like, no, Kevin, stop. That's it.
It's going to catch on fire again.
What a year that was.
Owens should 100% do some bit like that. He's the only person that like get away with it. Other people will do it and it'll look very stupid. If he does it though, it would make a whole lot of sense and be hilarious because he rules. Yeah, he's the meta man. He is the most in touch member of the roster. He gets it. I'd love to see it personally, but yeah, that is right now because it's the freshest match that's been announced. It is it's a strong build, but we have 3 more weeks to find out how they can, have a bunch of pull apart brawls ahead of it. But the big one, yeah, Tiffany and Charlotte. That's the thumbnail. Yeah. Hashtag bow the fuck down, everybody.
So they do the split screen interview, Tiffany and Charlotte. And we all kind of walked away being like, when Krusty shows the weird the knockoff, what was it called, the knockoff Itchy and Scratchy cartoon, he's got a cigarette in his mouth when they come back, and he's just like, what the hell was that? That's what we all thought after the Tiffany and Charlotte exchange.
Not me.
I know you loved it. I know
Not me.
Charlotte big sistered the little sistered Tiffany Stratton. And so there's multiple ways to look at it. I'll tell you one thing that I'm trying to see this as, using the using the magic of storytelling and headcanon. Actually, what we've seen with the Tiffany and Charlotte feud so far, Charlotte spent 2 weeks beating up Tiffany Stratton, right? And then 1 week, the third week of this, Tiffany got the upper hand. They did the pull-apart brawls, but like Tiffany got the upper hand. They haven't done any promos face-to-face. This is the first time. So it makes logical sense that the veteran tramples Tiffany Stratton, the newbie in this case. Now the question is, will Tiffany actually get the better of Charlotte the next time? Because if they do, then they're trying to establish a story where Tiffany is going up against the vet, and the vet has her number at every turn, but she's learning very quickly. Cool. At that point, Charlotte's going to win at WrestleMania, and maybe Tiffany will win later on. And we're looking into the Becky Lynch story from 2021, right? Where it was Becky and come on, my brain just short-circuited. Becky and Bianca.
Oh, okay.
Where everyone was up in arms over Bianca losing the title to Becky and Becky's heel turn, and then they turned it around by having Bianca beat Becky later that year. This is the reason why I'm apprehensive about it, is because I shouldn't have to be thinking like that this is the story. Oh, it's got to be the story. I'm not, but I'm also like, if it's where it's going, then I see it. But people are also not buying it and just being like, nah, Charlotte shut that shit down, made it look bad, and now we got a WrestleMania match where she's going to win anyway. There's like, it's not layers to this as much as there's like maybe layers, but nobody knows for sure. And now I know you're going to talk about how amazing Charlotte Flair is.
What did I tell you was going to happen when they finally got on the mic against each other? I said Charlotte is going to truck this poor woman. Not in a sense of she's just going to deliver a better promo. She's going to truck her in that she's going to step all over Tiffany's points. I said that word for word on this show multiple times last week. Rewind the tape. What happened on this segment, Joel? I was cackling the moment this started when Tessitore tries to ask Tiffany, what are your thoughts going into WrestleMania? And Charlotte just immediately, the queen speaks first. I was like, oh, I know where this is going. I know where this is going. And it got progressively more entertaining for me because Charlotte stepped all over everything Tiffany was trying to say. This is what you do. You throw you throw cold water on the hottest thing. You're not the hottest thing on SmackDown, much less the entire company. What do? You throw cold water on the hottest thing. I got my whole career to beat your accolades. You'll be lucky to have a job when you're my age.
Yeah, she went.
Tiffany just delivered the lines she had practiced to deliver, and Charlotte said, I don't care about any of these bullet points that you give me. I'm going to just cut her off at every single turn. You're mad because the crowd doesn't like you. They're wooing or booing. I'm getting a reaction either way. Oh, masterclass from Charlotte Flair. Absolute masterclass of just how to step all over somebody with this promo. If you think the segment was bad, fine. I don't fully disagree because I don't think it made Tiffany look good at all. But if you did not find the entertainment in what Charlotte Flair did here, I don't know what to tell you. This absolutely ruled. It was so entertaining. Absolutely so fucking entertaining. Charlotte just forcing Tiffany to bend the knee and bow down.
Which honestly works great for Charlotte's character right now. Like this is the other thing too of having an uncertain or Tiffany's never been a babyface. And Charlotte's been this asshole queen heel for so long. She knows what her character is. Tiffany doesn't have that connection with her character beyond like people just like her and they're happy to see her win the world title when she cashed in. That there's more established on the Charlotte side. What's also funny to me is like Charlotte at one point mentioned, you're a cash-in champion. And I'm like, play into that. And the best part about that is like, if like Charlotte should hate that briefcase more than anything because she's been cashed in on 3 times. So like I think she's tied with like Cena to like the most cashed in on. And she should hate that briefcase to the point where like if she wins it, she should be like, I don't want this shit. And she like throws it in the river and like, we're never doing this again. That should be the Charlotte Flair victory for Money in the Bank if she ever does. But instead, like she should be angry that she's facing someone who won a title by catching in on her, which is the thing that she hates more than anything in the world. For that, I'm all about her like trucking Tiffany Stratton. But again, it comes down to like her character is not defined. Like the Tiffany character is not defined, and she didn't know how to react, how to play the game, how to play up. And now the onus is on her for whatever they plan next week to bounce back heavy, because she didn't look good after this. Regardless of like whether it was planned or not, she just didn't look good.
Her when she was like, I earned this. I earned via cash-in? You didn't earn that. You won via cash-in. What do you mean earned it? So good. So amazing. Oh, just a master. Absolute masterclass. I would cackle if Charlotte wins in like 8 minutes. Just beats her clean as a sheet in 8 minutes after all of this. Would make me laugh so hard. This did not help Tiffany at all. It didn't. I hope she gets some type of comeback in the coming weeks and she's able to step up a little bit. But this is exactly what I feared when this match was announced and when you knew they were going to do promo segments at some point. Is Tiffany as good as it's Tiffy time? She delivers her catchphrase very well, and the crowd likes her, even though she just kind of became a de facto babyface because she teamed with Trish Stratus. But there's levels to this.
And also because she beat Nia, and Nia was a big bully. Like that was the Nia was bullying Tiffany, and that's what started the babyface term. Trish's match cemented it. Sorry, that's semantics of it.
That's fine. Now, there's levels to this though.
Yeah.
And Tiffany's promo in this environment, she's got to realize she's working with the queen right now. Big difference between working with Becky Lynch, where she did well on promos and there was a nice back and forth there on NXT, and not only working with Charlotte going into WrestleMania, where she's going to make sure she looks good. That's what Charlotte does going into WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair is going to make sure Charlotte Flair gets over at WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly.
Masterful.
Oh, this is fun. Keep vamping for a second.
Okay. SP3 is saying it wasn't entertaining, it was cringeworthy, but that's entertaining for some of you. It wasn't for me. SP3, this ruled. SP3 cares too much about the build. He's all, this didn't do anything for Tiffany and Charlotte in the build. Who cares about the build? Just enjoy one of the last true workers in the wrestling business, Charlotte Flair. Enjoy it while she's here. She ain't going to be around forever. So we got to appreciate her while she's still here. Absolutely rules. Are you good? Everything okay?
Yes and no. But we will be okay. Hold on.
Are you getting cucked again, Joel?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. This doesn't seem good. I assume you're sending me a private message, maybe?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. That was very unexpected moment. So we'll deal with that.
All right.
Pardon? Yeah, well, we'll deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Ryan Adams sending a super chat saying Jeremy was right again. Hashtag Jeremy was right again. In this case, yeah, you were right.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's always going to be right on this. You could see it coming a mile away. You could absolutely see it coming a mile away. This is what happens with Charlotte Flair. She does this with everybody. She did this with Becky Lynch. She did the whole title drop with Becky Lynch. Becky's the biggest female star in the company. And Charlotte was still going to hashtag bow down her. Of course she was going to do this to Tiffany. This is Tiffany's first moment at WrestleMania. This was always going to happen.
Yeah.
Should have seen this coming.
Well, we'll see what the last 3 weeks look like, but it was definitely a moment that I think we saw coming. But man, I really hope that they sort it out for Tiffany, because it would suck that they put that amount behind Tiffany, and she needs to rise up to the occasion again. She got cut down this week, and now the hope is that when she finishes up this storyline, it'll be handled. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be handled that she's protected.
Tiffany's got to sock her ass in the mouth next time they see each other. Like, when Charlotte tries to speak, Tiffany's just got to bop her one and just show that kind of fire. Like, that's what we need from Tiffany, because I don't think she's ready for the promo stuff with Charlotte. Is, again, there's just a different level to it. If you're just gonna sit there and deliver the line that is given to you here, it's not gonna work against Charlotte, because she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She made that clear when Tiffany tried to be like, "Oh, you care about the fan?" Like, she's like, they're wooing or booing. They're making a reaction one way or another. You can't say anything to Charlotte, because Charlotte is still at the top level. You can't try to undercut her with her insecurities, because she's still at the top level. She's never had a fall from grace. Even when the crowd that booed her when they wanted to cheer her, or cheered her when they wanted to boo her, where was Charlotte positioned on the card? The very top. She's never been, as much as you're threatened that someone is going to take your spot. Oh, Becky Lynch surpassed you. Bianca Belair surpassed you. Rhea Ripley surpassed you. Where's the evidence of this? You can say it in, oh, Becky is a bigger draw. Oh, Bianca is a better wrestler. Oh, Rhea gets a bigger reaction. But where's the evidence that they are placed on a higher pedestal than Charlotte Flair in the WWE world? There is none. When has Charlotte ever fallen? Bianca's did tag team stuff for a while. Becky's taken a year off. Rhea is crying about losing and trying to get into the main event on Raw. When has Charlotte Flair ever dropped a level? She hasn't. That's why you can't come at her in that manner. That's why you just got to punch her in the face, because that's the only way to take down Charlotte Flair. Words are not going to matter to Charlotte, because she has never been anything but the queen.
Yeah, there's never been a... Sorry, you're going to bow down?
Everybody I'm doing the visual.
Visual. You point to the side and do the visual. Thank you. Yeah, she's never had to waver in her character. It's always been a very solid presentation for her. She's never had like a crisis of confidence or crisis of conscience. And when it did, it'd be very quickly that it would turn back to just being the queen. It doesn't waver. Tiffany Stratton, yeah, you're right, could not go at her from a verbal standpoint. So you got to work on something else to take her down a peg. And the pull apart brawl was good for that. Now you got to find out what the next thing is that's going to make it so that she can get back at least to a point where people aren't thinking, oh, Charlotte's just going to dog walk her at WrestleMania and that'll be it for Tiffany Stratton. And that's after Friday. That's kind of the feeling. It's like, oh, well, that's it. That's how that match is going to go.
I hope Charlotte boots her and beats her at WrestleMania just because it's hilarious to me. It doesn't, that would be the worst outcome for Tiffany. Ideally, Tiffany wins this match and Charlotte does get knocked down a peg and we do see something different out of Charlotte Flair. But I don't have that expectation. Charlotte's just going to be Charlotte. Yeah. The one time she could maybe be like, oh, the women's division surpassed you in 2024 because you were out for a year. What happened? Charlotte returned and won the Royal Rumble. Again, she's never been brought down. She's never been presented as anything other than the queen. That's why you can't say shit about her. And that's why she can do this to everybody she comes across, because everybody else has been taken down a peg. Even if they've been at the highest level, at some point they have been taken down a peg. And Charlotte hasn't. That's why you can't beat her on the mic. And beat her in a sense of, like, you might cut a better promo than her. You might have fine material against her and deliver it better. But you can't undercut her actual points because she can always undercut you more. And she does. And she knows she can do it. And that's why I love Charlotte. Because she's one of the last true workers out there. She knows what she can do out there, and she's going to go out there and do it. And it rules. It entertains me. If you don't find it entertaining, more power to you, less power to you. I don't know. I completely understand if you don't find it entertaining. If you don't think that segment did anything for Tiffany, you're right. It didn't really do anything for Tiffany. It made Tiffany look bad. And you probably shouldn't make your top babyface on SmackDown look bad. But as someone who just laughs at a lot of this, absolutely ruled. AJ can't humble Charlotte. What's AJ going to say? Because the only thing you can say to Charlotte is personal stuff. And I imagine that's pretty off limits. And because you can't use that stuff, you can't do anything to her. Now, if there is a world where you can bring that up, then there's material. But I don't think there's a world where you can bring that up.
There is one person that historically could do something with her, and that's Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
That's the only person that can stand to Charlotte at this point. And I mean, you can try it with Bayley because Bayley is the other elder stateswoman on the roster that like has that they're building her into that legend status. And then they'll they'll fight. And who wins is based on who's more popular for them at the time.
Bayley is a good promo, but Bayley is good in kind of playing back and forth with someone who matches her energy. Like her and Seth, they got like good little banter back and forth. I don't know if Bayley is able. Okay, that seems like a good sigh of relief. Okay,
we're good. But the thing that happened earlier, we're good. All good.
Okay. All right. So Bayley is good with like a bantering back and forth. I don't know about Bayley trying to, before you die, Kelly, ow, Kelly, oh, Kelly, ooh, let's see who can out petty who. I don't know if Bayley is able to out petty Charlotte. Becky, yes. But that's when Charlotte, again, just finds a different way. Oops, let me drop this title because that's how I'm going to get you. Charlotte just finds a way.
I think Becky's going to be the one to take her down a peg, but it should be Thea Hale.
Oh, Thea Hale. Thea Hale just completely run over her with energy. Just completely. She won't let Charlotte speak because she'll be too energetic.
Just load it up on coffee.
Yeah. It's going to be like that Hey Arnold episode where Arnold is, I think it was Harold, and he's going to fight Harold the bully. And Arnold's like, don't hit me. I'll hit me. I'm crazy. That's what Thea Hale is going to do. Like, you're not going to be able to say a word because I'm just trying to stop speaking. That would rule.
Bring her a big coffee, be like, get on my level. Gives it to Charlotte. But she gives her like the Stanley 108-ounce cup and just like, that's the one who should do it. Yeah, I can talk about it another time, but yeah, had a jump scare moment. It's a clerical error. We're all good. Everything's good. So just definitely one hell of a way to start my morning. Oh man. Was there anything else from SmackDown? We talked about Rollins, Reigns, and Punk just kind of being, it was underwhelming. Point to the sign. Yeah, we got there. KO Randy, we talked about that. Should we talk about Collision for a little bit? Do a little bit of AEW stuff? There's no sign to point to for them. Well, I mean, there is, but like no one's currently pointing to a sign.
Oh.
They usually shoot it so that like the banner's there, but nobody's really pointing at it unless it's all in. The banner is just kind of like, we're going to shoot it frame it with the banner. That's all. Thank you for pointing to the sign again. Before we jump into AEW Collision, they announced that Supercard of Honor, Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor will be Friday, May the 2nd in Atlantic City at the Boardwalk Hall. They filmed a few episodes of Dynamite there, so you know what that building looks like. There's been a WrestleMania there. So good to see that Supercard is alive, and it's going to be May the 2nd on a Friday night. Chris Jericho is going to revive his King of New Jersey for that one-night match against Bandito, I assume. They got to stretch this out for another month and a half.
Yeah. I'm glad they're still doing Supercard of Honor. I'm glad they've announced it. We'll see what this card looks like.
Athena versus Mercedes Moné.
Ain't doing that at Supercard.
Why not? It's the biggest event of the year.
Athena versus Billy Starks. This is finally Billy Starks' moment. Shout out to that kid, by the way, who was flipping off Jericho on Collision.
They have been running with that video. It's very funny. Yeah. Good on AEW for taking like a good, not just viral, but an organic moment and just blasting it everywhere. It was good stuff. It's better than putting nails in your back and ending up on TMZ. You know what? I know people we like to joke around about like how much I hate doing AEW talk, but there's something that I do want to praise, and that is the presentation of Slam Dunk Collision. Coming out of the NCAA games, they just went right to the matches. There were no entrances. They were already in the ring as if they were like doing standby and they were going live. They made it feel live, which I think when a wrestling company is cognizant of that and they're aware of like what's coming in, what the lead in is, they can play with that. And I think that was actually a really smart move, not only doing that on both nights, but having title matches be those opening matches. So again, I want to send that praise because I thought that was very helpful for them and the way that they presented the Slam Dunk nights. I also watched the show all in one go. So like, Triller, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the show was god awful. Everything sucked. No, I'm just kidding. What did you think of doing the time limit draw with Danny Garcia and Adam Cole? Is it stretching this out? Is it actively making Daniel Garcia look like a stronger wrestler? Is it making Adam Cole look weak? Is it the other way around? Like, what's your general vibe coming out of this, knowing that they've been evenly matched almost throughout?
I hope it ends at Dynasty. I hope they do a match at Dynasty and we get a winner out of it. I think it's a good storytelling device to do a time limit draw, especially when you want to present guys as kind of evenly matched. And it works definitely with two baby faces as well. They clearly like this feud. They want to continue it. And now you can stretch it into Dynasty and have a winner there, hopefully. Oh, I didn't mind the time limit draw. I guess some people were upset. I don't know why. Like, here, let them do a time limit draw. That's fine.
Yeah, I think once in a while it doesn't hurt to do it. I think more people were annoyed with it just because we've seen them match up. We've seen the no ending. It feels like it's stretching it. They're making them do it again and again where they don't have a finish. And this is another non-finish, but it's a non-finish that is more not controversial. What's the word I'm thinking of? Where they're just evenly matched. They're evenly paired. So they just do the draw. Now I'm wondering how you make it so that you have a defined finish and no one gets involved, but you can't make it a steel cage match. So like, what is the logical next step to doing this match.
30-minute Iron Man match.
It's actually not a bad idea.
At Dynasty. That's my pitch.
I like the idea of doing an Iron Man match. 30 minutes would make sense considering it's a 20-minute time limit for this TNT title match they just did. Yeah, you could do that. You could do another 20 minutes and call it an Iron Man match, and then do an overtime pitch if you really want to go there. But I would rather just do 30 minutes and have that be it. I don't want it to be an hour. I don't like Iron Man matches with any company anytime, because there are very few that are actually like really good and have stood the test of time. This is just not something I would be super into, but I like your idea. I like doing a 30-minute one. It's a good start.
So people are saying, has the TNT title always had a 20-minute time limit? I'm not certain. So I'm kind of going through the history, though. The first TNT title match, funny enough, between Cody and Lance Archer went 21 minutes. So immediately the 20-minute time limit was gone. The other matches that have gone past the 20-minute mark that I'm seeing on my very quick search were Cody and Brody Lee, the dog collar match. That was 20. And Cody and that was over 20, I should say. Cody and Sammy, the ladder match, was over 20. I do remember Cody and who was it? Orange Cassidy was a time limit draw, or Darby. They've done a 20-minute time limit draw, I'm pretty sure, before. I don't remember it was Cody and Darby or Cody and Orange Cassidy, but I know they've done a 20-minute time limit draw between them before. So it seems like the only time that they've gone past the 20-minute mark were for gimmick matches, which you would understand the time limit being extended for those. So I imagine you got to do some type of gimmick match at Dynasty to circumvent the 20-minute time limit. So that's why I'll pitch a 30 minutes Iron Man match or some other. You can do so. It doesn't have to be that, but it seems like you got to do something to like, hey, this is why there's no time limit for them.
Yeah, I like that. There was someone in the chat mentioned a 2 out of 3 falls match. That's another one that you could go to.
Okay.
Didn't they recently do a 2 out of 3 falls somewhere on AEW?
That was Commander and Beast Mortos at
that doesn't count.
Wrestle Dream. Yeah, that was it's only 2 out of 3 falls match I can remember.
Did Ospreay do one? No, I don't know what I'm thinking of. Maybe someone in the chat's gonna remind me. But if they've done one, it's been recently, but clearly not recently enough for me to be like they can't do it again. So it is that.
Okay, so actually, you know what? Cope, as usual, gets to break the rules when it comes to the TNT title. He had 2 matches that went over 20 minutes, 2 normal matches that went over 20 minutes. And then the barbed wire steel cage match at Double or Nothing went over 20 minutes as well. So I guess they play with the rules when they want to. And then the I Quit match with Christian went over 20 minutes. So Cope had 7 matches during his reign, and 4 of them went over 20 minutes. Oh, there you go. Cope just plays by his own rules, brother.
Perfect. Yeah, it was probably Hologram Immortus at Wrestle Dream. That's the match that I'm probably thinking of. So if that's the case,
did I say Commander? I'm sorry. I meant Hologram.
Hologram, yeah, because that was the one that he got injured. It was the whole they got the deal in Mexico and they threw the match on the card, and then Hologram got injured through the match. But yeah, if that's the last 2 out of 3 falls match, it's been plenty of time. You can do that. So why not? We'll see. I like either doing a 30-minute time limit Iron Man match or doing a 2 out of 3 falls, but a definitive winner has to come out of this match.
So Christian and Danielson went 25 minutes. That was a TNT title match. They did do 2 out of 3 falls, Christian and Darby at Wrestle Dream a couple of years ago. So apparently Wrestle Dream is the only pay-per-view they can do 2 out of 3 falls matches on. It's not allowed anywhere else.
Then I guess we got a few months to go.
They haven't fully stuck to this 20-minute time limit gimmick that they stuck with on Saturday. In fact, it's kind of been a while because Christian and Cope were just allowed to wrestle past the 20 minutes and be
so maybe honestly, like maybe this is a question for the media pals to ask when Tony does his next media call before the show. Just be like, hey, if assuming that Cole and Garcia gets announced, you can ask the question. Just be like, hey, notice that it was a 20-minute draw at Slam Dunk Collision. Is that going to be for all title matches now on that are not world title matches? Is that just a one-time thing? Like, how did you decide that the TNT title was a 20-minute draw or a 20-minute time limit match. There's a question for you right there. There's a free one.
We'll see if people actually remember that by the time this media call takes place. And I guess it's only a couple weeks. Dynasty's next weekend.
2 weekends. Next weekend is the 30th, and then it's Dynasty weekend.
Okay, that sucks.
Yep. By the way, shout out to the incomparable Speedball Mike Bailey. This is the latest thumbnail on his vlog.
Why he entered AABB up down down over here and gave big head mode.
That rules.
Jeez.
If you haven't seen it yet, Speedball vlogs are a lot of fun, but that thumbnail definitely takes the cake. Will Dave LaGreca versus Joel have a time limit? Yeah, whichever one of us falls asleep first.
Whichever one of you just passes out due to poor cardio first.
Pretty much. I'm going to do a week's worth of cardio and hope that's enough.
Tell Dave LaGreca there's only going to be 2 hits playing when you meet him. Him hitting the floor and Kid Rock's Ball with the Ball playing in the background. You got that queued up?
Awful. Spring break. Mid-April in Boston. AEW announced spring breakthrough.
What a place to go to for spring break, Boston.
AEW is not exactly known for picking hot locations for big events. Remember the sunny beaches in Cleveland? I know.
Yeah, I was there.
I know. It's got to be an ongoing bit at this point. Like spring break. I guess is that college spring break mid-April? No, that's the end of the year. Well, it is for Canadians.
I don't know when college.
It's been a while.
College, yeah.
Yeah, we're old. I saw that and I was like, all right, spring breakthrough. They're doing it at the MGM Theater in Boston. And I guess now both the Collision and Dynamite episodes will be specialty episodes because they are taping night after night. So it'd be safe to assume that they'll do spring breakthrough for both. Yeah, there's water somewhere in Boston. I wanted and others did too, the Club La Vila type setup like Nitro used to do. Not necessarily the same, like getting a bunch of college kids drunk, liquored up watching wrestling. Actually, maybe that would have been fun. But I would have liked the ring in the water. That whole setup was so ridiculous. That would be fun.
They should have done it at Daly's and just like built a moat around the ring.
Hell
they
yeah.
could have done this at Daly's.
That would have been perfect. Right? Yeah. Gray's AEW Summerplex live in Alaska. That's the next one they need to do. Oh man, Alaska's beautiful in the actual summer months, but yes, the imagery is not lost on us.
And they could have put a pool in Daly's place and done all that.
Every match needs to be in a pool. It's just no ring. It's a pool with ropes.
I should do chicken fights.
Then every match is a tag team match.
Yeah. Well, yeah, theoretically. Yeah, they do. That's the wrestling. They do chicken fights. That's what it should be.
This is to dunk on WCW. Actually, is it? Because they're about to hit the more episodes than Nitro.
Yeah.
Milestone. I wonder if
I think this show hits the milestone for them.
The Boston one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I knew it was coming. I didn't know if that was, I thought it was sooner than that, but if it's around that time, that's even better.
I'm pretty sure like that's going to be the celebration, which
Henry's saying
it's the dunk on WCW in some ways, but it's also just to praise that they made it this long. Honestly, like obviously the comparison is to WCW, and that's why it's going to be that. But it's also just a celebration of look how long we've lasted. People didn't think we were going to last this long, and we made it. Good on them.
This is the episode of Dynamite. You know what I'm about to say.
I'm not sure.
That episode, Spring Breakthrough, needs to end with Shane McMahon in the middle of the ring. The name on the contract says McMahon. I now own All Elite Wrestling, and Tony's backstage split screen having a complete conniption because he somehow sold the company to Shane. And it's the Bucks. The Bucks are the ones that facilitated the deal. Oh, that'd be perfect. I would love to see that just for the moment.
I'm actually all for this. They've dropped the ball with Shane McMahon not being part of the Death Riders, so they got to pick it back up with Shane now purchasing the company at the end of them surpassing the Nitro milestone. It's got to end. Like Shane McMahon would be a good shout. I don't know if they could get like a WWE guy who like a Luger moment. You know what I mean? Like I know that's how the first Nitro ended. This is how the surpassing Dynamite would end. If you get that guy who was like, oh shit, what's he doing here? I don't know if they could pull off an ending like that because one, I don't know if there's like a WWE guy available to pull that off with.
I'm trying to rack my brain. I don't think there is anyone of like that level at this
Like
point.
Goldberg.
Goldberg's got a match to do first, brother.
Well, I know, but that's why it would be so shocking, right? Is everyone thinks that Goldberg's doing this match in WWE, and instead he shows up at AEW.
I'm having my last match, but it's not against Gunther. Jon Moxley, you're next, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh,
what was that voice?"
It was him, kind of constipated, but then he got the "you're next," and that's all that mattered. He's old now, Jeremy.
That voice was something else. Okay, all right.
You're next. That's how he talks.
That's not good either. That's not how he talks at all.
You're next. Can't really yell and scream in this office.
Is there any other legend that like they could pull out for this?
So Sting is a very easy one. He's already with the company and everything, but like at least he has a tie to that time of year. Like he was on the last episode. Shivani obviously was too. Like I don't know if there's anyone from WWE that you can bring in to make that moment. I don't know if you need anyone to do that. Like there are people who worked for WCW at that time who should make some sort of like cameo appearance just to stick it, and then like have Bischoff have his little crybaby segment on whatever show he's doing that week. Sure. Or he's going to ignore it, which is honestly what I wish he would do for most of this, but we live in a rage bait culture. So here we are. Take your victory lap. Have fun with it. People who are there will be on the show, and don't take away from the actual show. But Sting, having been Sting, you can bring him out for that just as like a quick little cameo.
Oh, Austin is a good shout.
Hilarious.
I don't think he would do it, but that would be. What if The Rock showed up? Old Dwayne just is like showing up on this show. It's Mania week too, right? Oh fuck, that show's April 16th, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh
right.
Man,
Shane's got to come out. I'm stuck on Shane coming out. That's the moment.
Yeah, Shane makes the most sense. Like that would definitely be the most sense of who they could get for that.
Just do Jason Jett versus Kiwi as one of your matches. Go ahead.
Stop it. Hold on. They're in Boston, Joel. They're in Boston. You know who else is from Boston besides the boss? John Cena. What if WrestleMania week, John Cena shows up on AEW Dynamite?
Does he have a new theme?
Yeah, it's and his name is John Cena.
The meme over and over. Yeah. It's you know what? I like Henry's idea. It's his dad that shows up instead. Yeah. Everyone thinks it's John Cena, and then it turns out to be his dad walking out of the crowd.
That would piss off so many people, though. Like you can't. That would be a great WCW move, is the bait and switch that whole thing. But no, what if? How much money do you think they could throw at Cena or Rock to get one of them to like show up? Like how much mana could they throw? I guess Rock could just have his own mana. So like he doesn't really need like, hey, here's unlimited mana.
He's got like a mana fountain in his bus. Yeah. Everywhere he goes, there's a mana fountain.
Yeah, but like how much money do you think it would take for them to show up in that?
I don't think it's the money. I think it's the equity in the company that they'd want at that point.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know if they have like because you know what the problem is? If they do it, like TKO executives would be pretty pissed at the.
Oh, yeah, they would.
Yeah, like that's a long-term issue that comes up. So I feel like there would need to be some assurances that the money made that night would have to stretch out over the multitude of time that they will be kept out of WWE.
John Cena gets on the AEW board.
They're going public. Endeavor goes private, TKO stays public, but AEW is going public too. Let's go.
What about Cody? You get one of these three. They finish the story with Cody, and he comes back.
Oh, you know what you do? Listen, if you want to play ball, you've got the whole Lex Luger, is Sting going to go and induct Lex Luger into the Hall of Fame, blah, blah, blah. It's WrestleMania week. You can do the trade-off that week. You know, the I owe you one, pal, the favor.
Oh. Yeah, but they're not sending
not Cody.
anybody.
It ain't going to be Cody. It ain't going to be Cody. But like, if there's someone, if bringing this conversation kind of back to
That's dumb.
I know, back to reality for 2 seconds, because then we can blast off again. I don't give a shit. But like, if there's somebody that you're going to do it at that point, that's the week you can do. Is you can send someone over for that 1 week while Sting does the Lex.
Here's Oro Mensa on AEW Dynamite.
Oh, sorry, Oro's unavailable. He's working the TNA show the next night. Can't do that. Everyone's just gonna be like, oh, they're working TNA. Oh, they're working Bloodsport. Oh, they're working. Can't have them. Sorry.
That's that's the level you're gonna get for this whole thing. All right, a serious pitch here. A serious pitch is it's Bryan Danielson, but he wears the Lex Luger white button shirts.
The puffy shirts.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, they're gonna send Cora Jade to take on Timeless Tony Storm.
Joel's gonna be so pissed.
I'm just not gonna watch Dynamite that night. I'll be in Vegas.
Tony Storm's gonna be like, why do you do this? What is this? Are you crying? Are you emo? Are you happy? What is this? I used to do this too. It is this, darling, not this. What is happening here?
That makes me want to watch, because Tony asking the real questions. Okay, that's more of a journalist than anyone else has been in that room.
All right, so it's got to be Shane McMahon is what we've all settled on here.
I'm living for it now that it's out there and I've put it out there. It's got to happen. That's the perfect end to that. Like, get hot with it. I now own, I don't even give a shit. I now own Ring of Honor. I don't give a shit. Just have Shane out there buying up properties in AEW, because the Bucks are back and the Bucks have used they're the only EVP standing, right? Kenny gave up his EVP status on, they're the only two left. So they're going to use their shit to get Shane.
That's why Cody's return is going to be so huge, because it's Shane there. And then it's also Cody.
Amazing.
Shane is like, I've gotten the sign off from the EVPs, and then Cody appears. He's like, well, buddy, you're forgetting about one EVP. And then Cody's back in AEW.
Wrestling has more than one royal family. Here comes the money. Sorry. Oh yeah, we've done it. That's it. We've done it. Because we got a heart out. I do want to mention I really, really enjoyed the Megan Bain package and the Tony Storm promo. I know you're a big fan of Murder. She is threatening decapitation on live television. I appreciate that. It was good stuff. I know everyone's been like, Megan's got to talk. I think this was the perfect compromise for that. She doesn't need a microphone promo time in the ring, but her speaking over her own destruction in a voice that's really, I think it's perfect for her presentation. I was a big fan of that, and Tony's being Tony, so I can't really complain about that. I do wonder how much further that character can really the legs of it until people start seeing that it can be repetitive after a while. I don't think it's anytime soon. Don't get me wrong, but there were definitely moments where I'm like, does this tire after 6 months to a year, where people are like, she's just kind of repeating same old 30s film nostalgia quotes. I'm wondering if that happens. I don't know, but it's in my back of my head. Is there a shelf life? That's it.
No. Tony Storm she's timeless, Joel. It's literally in her name. She's timeless.
If you feel that way, that's totally fine. That's why I asked the question, because I'm not fully expecting that it is that way. But if 6 to 12 months later, people are like, I'm starting to get tired of this presentation, then okay, well, what was the moment that did it is the only question I'll have. But no, it was good. I like what they're doing with Tony and Megan. I think it's a really solid build, because again, I was of the belief that you could have waited on it, but they're doing a good job with it now. And then before we do Raw, I just want to say the one time you could have been wearing
What are
those
we doing
pants,
Raw?
we got to preview Raw. We're going in Raw. No, that's the other show. The one time we could have been wearing those stupid spike jackets, they didn't wear the stupid spike jackets to attack other people. Very upset about that.
Sure, that was.
Come on, crew, get your shit together.
These dudes haven't won a single match. They don't even. They just show up.
Yeah,
it's like, what up? All right, guys, cool.
Crew, what do they do? Nah. They don't. Raw's tonight in Scotland and Glasgow. Should we read the entire preview like we're from Scotland?
You can if you want.
Show's going to air on Netflix at 4 p.m. Eastern time, not 3 p.m. like the last 2 weeks. It's 4 p.m. So don't.
Just last week. Oh,
was it last week? Well, I was thinking about it because Barcelona.
Next week. SmackDown. Next week is 3.
Well, no, it's because SmackDown was also Barcelona, so that was a 3 p.m. thing, and that was so. My brain has 2 weeks, but you guys are also one. Anyway, at 4 p.m. Netflix. Glasgow hosts the OVO Hydro on Monday Night Raw. Dragon Lee takes on Chad Gable. Will he be wearing a mask? We'll find out. Do you think Lucha Gable's going to come back for one night only?
It should be a good match. I look forward to it.
For the Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker takes on Penta.
You know what? Instead of doing a match, you know what they should do? Penta should go, Cero, Middle.
Oh, they point to the sign.
And then Braun Breaker goes, hoo, hoo, hoo. And that's it. There's no actual match. It's that. It's just that for like 12 minutes. Just taunting. Just
with the commercial.
Cero, Middle. Hoo, 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 hoo. Cero, Middle. Hoo, 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 hoo. 12 minutes of that, everybody. Get ready.
With a commercial. with one Yeet commercial. CM Punk returns to Monday Night Raw after he showed up on SmackDown. I don't know. Why did they promote that? For the women's
to be alive here in Glasgow, Scotland. And then he's going to go.
It's great to be alive on a Monday night in Glasgow, Scotland. Does he do it with the accent, Jeremy Lambert?
That's what he's going to do. I just gave it to you.
I hope he does it with the accent. For the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria takes on Raquel Rodriguez. God, Lyra better win.
I don't know.
It seems bad. Raquel has the tag titles. Just leave it at that.
Well,
I'm sick of these champions going after other titles.
Oh, sorry.
Drew goes for the Claymore, but instead he points at the WrestleMania sign with his leg.
He just runs and like still does the Claymore, but you know his leg is like pointing up at the WrestleMania sign and he hits like nothing. Like, what was Drew doing? And Michael Cole's like, he was pointing to the WrestleMania sign with his leg. He was indicating a Claymore at WrestleMania.
And Jimmy Uso and a mystery partner takes on Ethan Dunn and Dune Under. It's Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be say his name? I think it's just going to be his fucking brother. I just think it's Jimmy.
My bar is just Jimmy. If it's Joe Hendry, like that's cool. This does nothing to make me care about Jay and Gunther, though. Like, all right, cool. Jay and Jimmy beat up A-Town, or Jay and Joe Hendry beat up A-Town. Like, isn't this dude challenging for the world title at WrestleMania? What are we doing?
You know what happens? Like Jay and let's say Jimmy beat A-Town down under, and then Gunther comes in and wastes all 4 of them. Good. That's the segment.
I mean, that's fine, but just I hope it's Joe Hendry. I hope he gets a nice little hometown pop in Scotland. He's gonna
point to my fucking sign and be like, I'm going to WrestleMania. I'll be like, buddy, you're barely going to Unbreakable, okay?
I hope he points to the sign. That would rule. He just goes out there, goes into business for himself. He's like, say his name. Hold on. I don't know if I can do the spin. Say his name and he appears.
I point at the stupid slide.
I guess I could have just done it in my chair.
Yeah,
that way my face actually shows. Say his name and he appears.
That looks awful. He's just gonna walk down to the ring doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you get
all of his moves? He hits like a clothesline while pointing to the side. Then someone just runs into his arm and he just falls down on him and still points in the side and pins him like that. That's the finish.
Man's trying so hard to get somewhere with this. And John Cena and Cody Rhodes are live tonight too for the Monday Night Raw in Glasgow, Scotland.
Yeah.
I think the biggest rip is when Drew McIntyre either doesn't show up, probably put him in a dark match because he's going to get cheered relentlessly.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the Cena and Cody stuff again. Last week was good. They still got a lot more to do with those two. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's Monday Night Raw, 4 p.m. if you're watching on Netflix live. Otherwise, you can catch it anytime because it's on Netflix. Jeremy, anything to plug before we get out of here? You got some stuff tomorrow.
Tomorrow, scheduled to have Anthony Green and Jay Bougie on the show. So 2 guests Tuesday for tomorrow. And we'll talk about Raw. SP3 will be here. And yeah, should be a big show tomorrow. Everybody.
Someone's saying Joe Hendry should have a WrestleMania match, buddy. He's barely getting a match on the TNA show. Yeah. Like, he's barely getting a match on the TNA pay-per-view the week after WrestleMania. What are we doing here? Regardless, you guys are back tomorrow, SP3 Jeremy at 10 a.m. Eastern here on the channel. So leave a thumbs up on your way out. And of course, subscribe to us here. We appreciate you all, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Why is there an outro? There's no